Wedbush's Dan Ives and CNBC contributor Requisite Capital's Bryn Talkington as well. Bryn, a Tesla shareholder. Dan, actually, the entire market has kind of softened up and backed off. Tesla has gone negative. You don't want to make too much out of, what's driving what, but it almost as if the index is held in place just in case there was something that was a blockbuster in terms of fresh news from Musk. Were there any notes that were struck that were incrementally new or something that investors would take away?
Look, in my opinion, the fact that Musk sits down for the interview, in terms of with favor, go back to a month ago, this is a different Musk than we saw over the last 3 months. Dedicated, focused on Tesla, driving the next initiative. Look, I just continue to believe this is a doubling down in terms of autonomous, robotaxi, June, Austin, I view as a watershed moment for Tesla, and he's not backing away. So I think it's important in terms of you look at the future. We believe it's $1 trillion of market cap that ultimately is related to what I view as autonomous and robotics. And I think you feel more bullish after hearing Musk.
Bryn, Musk did say that the only thing that matters is autonomous and Optimus, which is the humanoid robot business, which is interesting because at some level it says, I don't really care about this year's earnings as much or maybe next year's earnings. And the stock is up 50% from basically when they reported a ugly first quarter. So clearly the market is looking ahead to something or attempting to. What did you glean off of all those remarks?
Well, I'll take Dan's $1 trillion and add another trillion on top of that because, Jensen Huang, first of all, just related to Optimus, has said the market for robots will be, Jensen says, multi-trillion. We know that, and everyone talks about when is FSD supervised or unsupervised going to come out where you can just do it yourself. Right now, once again, if you look down while you're driving, it's going to ping you that it's going to shut it off. And so definitely they are being safety first. These are weapons on the road, and I think Elon was crystal clear that they need to start slowly. But I think with innovation, companies like this, when he says things start slowly then happen all at once, if it weren't for Elon, I think celebrities would still be driving around in those Prius cars. And I think what's important going forward is that this is a stock that investors have continued to buy the dip. I don't think he's remotely ignoring earnings in the short term. I just think he is very focused on executing on making robotics, on FSD, on self-driving, all of those different verticals come to fruition. And I think the biggest difference, if you look at Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison, they're both geniuses. One died bankrupt and the other died very wealthy because Thomas Edison had the manufacturing prowess. And to me, one of the biggest stories that continues to me, I think, undersold is the manufacturing prowess of this company. And, talking about the Chinese, Tesla's one of the few companies in the world that could operate autonomously in China. I'm quite sure they were copying and watching how he was manufacturing to be able to catch up. But to me, what I take away is this continues to be one of the most innovative founder CEOs and one of the most innovative companies.
I guess, Dan, if you want to take the trillions of dollars in robotics revenue or value or whatever it's going to be down the road, at some version of face value, the higher the stock goes, the more you have to believe to buy it today, it's happening sooner than we thought before.
Yeah,
right? There's just no other way around it. Cars have been around for 100 years. Everyone kind of needs one, and you're just replacing the other one to buy a Tesla. I just feel like what's the ramp in terms of adoption, or does it even matter? Does Musk just have to kind of dangle it out there and the market grabs it?
No, I think it's important, first off, that in terms of China, you actually start to see a rebound. I think Musk recognized that in terms of Europe. We talked about that brand damage that I believe, Musk no longer Trump administration. It's now important to actually build back some of that growth. I think that's the first step. And that's why I think the stocks had a huge move, because leaders lead. He's back to being CEO of Tesla. And I continue to be Musk is Tesla, Tesla is Musk. But ultimately, it starts off, and Bryn's talked about pieces. Austin, one piece. Rolling it out further to other cities, another piece. Showing in terms of interventions, getting to level 4 and Phil hit on it, that's another piece. Hey, look, it's my view. when you look out as they're successful, 90% of the value, future value, will be ultimately autonomous and robotics. But it all starts in June.